When John received an inheritance from his uncle, he had no idea it could change his life. Uncle Benjamin was an eccentric collector. He left John an antique clock covered in dust with a grim finish. "These are not just clocks," he said. "They are a part of history. Keep them safe." John placed it on a shelf in his bedroom and tried to forget about it. Soon after the clock settled in his home, strange occurrences began. At first, it was just little things, items out of place and whispers from the next room. John brushed it off as stress from work, but the situation worsened. His dreams grew horrifying, filled with images of Uncle Benjamin stepping out from shadows. So one night, waking up in a cold sweat, John decided the clock had to go. The situation reached its climax when his friend Mike came over. They sat in the kitchen drinking beer and laughing when the door to the room with the clock swung open. John turned around, feeling fear wash over him. He quickly got up to shut the door, but Mike noticed his unease. "Are you kidding, John? It's just an old door," he said, but then stared at the clock. John felt his heart race. "I don't know," he replied. "It's an inheritance from my uncle." Mike stepped closer, and suddenly the clock began to chime. The sound was deep and eerie, resonating like an echo from the past. Both men froze as strange noises filled the room. Whispers seemed to blend their thoughts into a stream of fear. The next day, John woke up feeling dread. He found Mike dead in his bed, eyes staring vacantly. There were no signs of violence, but his face showed indescribable fear. John felt as if the clock had taken over his life. Each day brought horrifying events. Neighbors disappeared, his job fell apart, and he became withdrawn, sensing something sinister lurking. When John could no longer bear the pressure, he decided to confront the clock. He searched for information about Uncle Benjamin and the object he had left him. The clock belonged to a collection known for misfortune. Anyone who kept it suffered horrific events that led to death or madness. Now John was trapped in the same cycle of despair. Feeling that his life was ending, John resolved to stop this nightmare. He took the clock into the woods, hoping to rid himself of it forever. The trees loomed overhead as he ventured deeper. As he attempted to bury it, he felt the ground tremble beneath him. Suddenly, Uncle Benjamin's terrifying red gaze appeared. "You cannot escape the legacy, John," he said ominously. Reality warped around John, and he was overwhelmed by darkness. Throwing the clock aside, he felt shadows envelop his mind, pulling him into an abyss. He realized he could not escape this dreadful inheritance. In that moment, just before consciousness faded, he understood the clock would always be with him. The legacy of misfortune continued, leaving a trail of terror. John became part of this tragic story, forgotten and lost, like all the previous owners of that dreadful clock.